You know, I've been here for a month. When I first arrived, I came up on September the 13th. So the morning of September the 14th, it was cold enough that I got this coat out and I felt like kind of a wimp. Well, it's been so far above normal that now this morning, this is my last full day at the cabin. And I'm down at that same temperature, 38 degrees Fahrenheit. And this coat's feeling good again. And we're still probably, for the date, that's still a little warmer than normal. I think we should be down in the mornings now. The normals would be just above freezing, which makes sense in Celsius and Fahrenheit, doesn't it? Makes it easy. But it's supposed to warm up more. I mean, not like it was, but normal. Well, being the last day, what are they fighting about? Usually get along. I don't have any work I'm planning on doing. I do need, let's see. All my saws and mowers are accounted for and in the shed or in the vehicle. I do want to go out and I've got, maybe 5 cameras scattered everywhere. I want to go out and I'm going to leave the one up in the beaver dam that really gets that good footage. I'll get a fresh card in that one. And I might position another camera over on the second beaver dam. That's where, until it freezes up, everything's got to walk there. So I think I'm gonna do that. So otherwise, it's just a matter of coming back. Got a few eggs to fix up for breakfast, and they're gone. I'm planning on having my last pizzas for lunch. And then tonight, it's going to be a big leftover chicken casserole. As far as food supplies, that leaves one pound of deer burger, which I kind of hate to waste it, but I'm not going to be able to keep it all the way home. Well, I think that my Canada Jays are going to get a little red meat to store away for the winter. They're probably getting pretty tired of that chicken by now anyway. They've got that thing pretty well picked down clean, which is a good thing because at night I took it inside, so there was no aroma around here at all. In fact, last night, I did that laundry yesterday, and it wasn't drying at all. I mean, the breeze didn't really pick up. I didn't have anything hanging in the sun. So I kept the fire going last night to get it dried out, but it worked out pretty well. It'd normally be too hot in there, but I just opened up the bottom window, part of the window on the screen door, and had the window cracked, so the heat stayed high where I had my drying going on, and then down below the cool air came in where I was sleeping, so I slept nice and cool and really good. I have to remember that little play. I've been trying to reestablish these white pines around the cabin area and a little island off to the southeast. And any I come across out in the forest, I'll try to put some brush or wire around to protect them. I've had limited success. I have so many of them die. Now, this is a apparent success story, but I say apparent because I've got one down the trail a ways that was looking really good, not quite this big, and all of a sudden I see the kind of starting to curl up in the ends of some of the lower branches, and I think that's a bad sign. So again, this one appears to be doing really good, and I hope it becomes a monster, but I don't know. You see, I want it to grow up to be a 100-foot monster like this one over in the corner outside the cabin. This one's got a big lightning strike, and it still seems to be doing okay, but there's one about 1.5 miles to the west that was this big, and over the last 2 or 3 years, it's just died. This one appears to be doing fine. This one I just cut off because it was either curling, and I don't know what this is about, but it takes several years, but then they end up dying. But the good news is that big brute right over there, there's all these little seedlings up. And so I wasn't planning on really doing any work today, but with the rains we've had and more rain coming, I'm gonna take the shovel and get a bucket. And the seedlings are pretty small, but out on what I call Tired Pine Island out that way, I'm gonna take a bunch of seedlings out and put them inside the structures where all the ones I put years ago have died. See, this is a nice little nursery. Little young white pine. Those are balsams, we don't want those. But here where I don't mow, these little white pines spring up, but unless I get them protected, they don't stand a chance against the deer and the snowshoe hares. They'll just get eaten off before they ever get to grow. A whole bucket of children. I do have some success stories back here, ones that are doing really well. Those little seedlings I planted, there's one there, and I look over, there's a fair-sized one there. But it's just a tough road for them. So many times though, this is what happens. They get up about that big and they die, and sometimes I really think some of it is the blister rust problem that white pine have with their association with current plants like gooseberry. I wish they grew like these. No trouble with the balsam growing. They don't have any trouble. Get rid of that. I got the barricade here. It needs to be reinforced a little bit to keep the deer away, but I got enough down trees now. I just need to get the time to come back here, get the little barricades built back up again. But we'll put these little seedlings in, and gonna have a rain tomorrow again. It's nice and moist right now. Should be a good time for it. So. Good luck, little buddy. I don't know, the odds are against you. Many times this is what we end up with. They die out from the top, just like that huge white pine I talked about, the 100-footer that died over there to the west. Started to die from the top. And of course there's no small branches on the big ones, but this tree's done for. Time to put a new one in. No doubt about it. Red meat wins this morning. These cute little guys I'd like to film more, but they're usually 100 miles an hour. Can't keep up. I had some peanuts in there for them, but I can't ever get them to really find him to tame him down. Something's really marking up its top of the trail here, just north of the cabin, but got two cameras on down the trail. We'll have to see if we found out what this is. My suspicion is my local bobcat. Whoops, Martin's wrong. Check this out on your big screen. October the 12th on the Canadian border. This is not what it should be looking like. Those aspen trees up there shouldn't be green, they ought to be bare. Just shows you how there's been 15 to 20 degrees above normal for the whole fall. And plenty of moisture. I guess I thought I was losing my mind. I was out cutting the other day and one of those mounds I talked about, how that's actually rocks being pushed up with the frost. Well, I thought I was cutting through just some moss and even out a spot in the trail, and all of a sudden these sparks come flying. So I was going to get the saw sharpened up because it might be a little cooler the next time I need it. Anyway, I pulled this thing out and man, these teeth are sharp. What? And then oh, that's right. That's the other saw, the one that's out in the outback right now. It never did make it all the way to the cabin, but I went out that way and I took it down the trail and did some work. Tried to cut that rock in half, and well, anyway, it wouldn't cut a twig after that. So, I don't need to sharpen this after all, but it's ready. As I've been packing things away, you know, it happens every time. Oh, that's where that's at. Well, you know, we get some real improvements up here because there's some things that are just kind of a pain in the butt. Like my old cracked toilet seat. Now you talk about a pain in the... Well, my sister Paula, she, you know, fixing her house up at home, and she changed out toilet seats, and so look what she sent up. I mean, here, I got this, and so I forgot all about it till I was packing things away. Now, this can go on the old jetting fire out there as I got that fire going, you know, to burn up the food scraps so no bears can smell any that Martin's been here. So I'm going to go over. Last time it's going to pinch me. Thank you, Paula. And you know, since all these guys, you know, I didn't have anybody come and stay overnight. Well, here I got this extra chicken. So even those guys had their deer burger this morning, they're not complaining about the chicken. They'll be back in here and they'll get some cleaned up tonight, and then I'll clean that up tonight. I'll put it inside. And then I'll tomorrow morning, right before I leave, I can trust putting that out here because they'll have that all cleaned up before any bear would ever think about coming along. I got a red squirrel over there getting down and getting a drink out of one of my stainless steel milking containers, so hope he doesn't fall in. Nice bonus, huh? Well, let's get rid of this thing. Whoa! I never realized toilet seats would burn that hot. Uh-oh. Shutters are going on. Must be time to leave. So here we wrap up the fall 2021 trip, but I think if things work out right, by next Saturday morning I should be back with some fresh video from the Great White North. Let's hope so. And another great cabin trip comes to a close.